Everyone. Let's start with today's topic, that is decentralization, which is a part of basic concept of management. The contents of this lecture will be departmentation, authority and delegation, decentralization. So moving on to the first topic, that is departmentation. Department may be divided into three stages, which is primary departmentation, intermediate departmentation, and ultimate departmentation. First, let us understand what is departmentation. It is grouping of organizational activities into jobs. Therefore, combining jobs into effective work groups and coordinating of these groups is division. The three departments which are shown such as primary departmentization, intermediate departmentization, and ultimate departmentization. In this, the primary one, initial breakup of organizational functions into basic activities such as production, finance, and marketing, etc. takes place. In intermediate departmentation, creating departments in the middle levels of the organization takes place. In the third, ultimate departmentation, dividing activities into separate units at the lower level to create sections and subsections. The function of departmentation is functional departmentation is the process of creating organizational units on the basis of firm's major activities. Normally, separate departments are created for all the key activities of the business. The essential idea is to take advantage of specialization. A typical function organization with major departments and additive departments is shown in the figure. Now, if you see about the advantages, the functional department has advantages such as it is the most logical and simple form of departmentation. It makes efficient use of specialized resources and skills. The disadvantages, on the other hand, of functional departmentations are that it is often found to be inadequate to meet the growing needs of business, particularly as the organization expands and diversifies its activities. Now, moving on towards the next topic, which is authority. Authority is an integral part of society which needs to be followed if one wants to live in the society. Not following in the charity will invite corrective actions. There are 13 different types of authority. The first one is academic authority, second one is domestic authority, the third one is expert authority, the fourth one here is founder authority, the fifth one here is legal governing authority, the sixth one is organizational possession authority, the seventh one is ownership authority, the eighth one is property authority, the ninth one is putative authority, the 10th one is relational authority, the 11th one is result authority, the 12th one is reward authority, and the last one is traditional authority. Responsibility in management. Responsibility refers to an obligation to do something. It is the duty of the subordinate to perform organizational tasks, functions, or activities assigned to him. Authority and responsibility go side by side. When authority is delegated, then some responsibilities for getting the assigned task is also fixed. Now let's talk about what is accountability. Accountability in the workspace refers to a person's commitment to their tasks and acknowledgement of their specific role within an organization. Accountability can help you become a trustworthy and effective leader and manager, as the idea of accountability in management goes beyond fulfilling your duties. Now let's define delegation. A delegation of authority refers to the senior handing over decision-making powers to his junior, although the senior cannot pass on an authority which he does not possess. With the help of delegation, the workload can be divided to different individuals as well as the responsibilities also shared among them. What are the 5 steps of delegation? Before discussing the 5 steps of delegation, let us first discuss the obstacles of delegation. There are 3 obstacles of delegation, which is fear of loss of power, certain personal attitudes, and the lack of ability to direct well. Now, if we talk about the 5 steps of effective delegation, the first one is analyze your tasks. This simple step will help you to access whether you're working on your most important priorities while developing others. The second one is select the delegate. The third one is define the task, and the fourth one is provide support, and the last but not the least is monitor and review. Ways to overcome barriers to delegation. The first one is accept the need of delegation. The second one is develop confidence in subordinates. The third one is communication. And the fourth one is motivation. And last but not the least is effective system of control. There are 8 factors to determine the degree of effective decentralization. The first one is costliness of decision. Second one is uniformity of policy. Third one is economic size. Fourth one is availability of managers. The fifth one is history of the enterprise. The sixth one is the philosophy of management. The seventh one is decentralization of performance, and the last one is environmental influences. Now comes the comparison between decentralization and centralization. Here, as we can see, we have various parameters for comparison. The first one is definition, the second one is flow of communication, next one is decision, authority, suitability, and implementation. Here, if we talk about decentralization, decentralization in an organization involves decision-making capability through middle management or lower management. Power authority are held up by lower management. Whereas in centralization in an organization involves decision-making capability in the hands of top management. The flow of communication in centralization is vertically aligned, whereas in decentralization there is no alignment, it's free and more open. In decision, the decision-making process is slower in centralization because it has to pass various levels to get agreed upon, and in decentralization, it is a comparative faster way. The authority under centralization is power is in the hands of senior management, whereas in decentralization, mid and lower management has the power. Suitability. No proper control over organization is there in centralization, whereas in decentralization, proper control over organization is uh, seen. In implementation is small-sized firms and implementation in large-sized firms, because in centralization a decision is taken by the owner, and in decentralization there are various numerous decisions which cannot be taken by owner and various middlemen are used. Thank you.